Welcome to our channel on near-death experiences, NDEs. We'll explore stories of people who've been on the brink between life and death, returning with new perspectives. These accounts offer a unique glimpse into existence, life's meaning, and the universe. Each video is a journey through transformative experiences and spiritual discovery. We're creating a space of understanding and sharing for these extraordinary stories. Whether you're here out of curiosity or seeking comfort, we hope to bring you peace and awareness. Join us on this journey of spiritual exploration. Every moment is an opportunity to grow and love. Thank you for being here with us.
In February 1999, while delivering newspapers in Tennessee, I happened to listen to Art Bell's show. It was an enlightening experience, as it made me realize that I wasn't the only one who had experienced a near-death experience, NDE. 40 years earlier, when I was just a 5 to 6-year-old child, I had recounted my NDE. But at the time, everyone had labeled me as crazy. I don't know if it's common for such a young child to have this kind of experience, but I can say with certainty that it happened to me. The event occurred during a summer of my childhood. My father, who was trying to raise me in the best way possible despite the difficulties, often took me to the river where there were many other people. The goal was to allow me to interact with children my age, as my parents were always out of the house for work. I was already independent enough to have house keys, but unfortunately, I didn't know how to swim. One day, while I was in the river, I found myself in an area with a sudden drop. I vividly remember going underwater 3 times, aware that I wouldn't survive. At that moment, I realized I was about to die, and this awareness filled me with fear and anguish. It was then that I had my NDE. I saw a tunnel with an intense and welcoming light shining at its end. As I approached, I noticed a group of people waiting for me. To my great surprise, I recognized them as relatives, including, it seemed, my 2 grandfathers. One of them, perhaps one of my grandfathers, began to speak to me gently yet firmly. The message conveyed to me was clear. I had to go back, my earthly life was not yet over. They told me I still had many things to learn and experiences to live. At that moment, although I was scared by the prospect of death, a part of me didn't want to go back. I felt a peace and acceptance in that place that I had never experienced before. However, fate had other plans for me. Suddenly, I felt a hand grab my arm. It was my father who had saved me from drowning. I was abruptly brought back to reality, leaving that place of light and comfort. In the days and years that followed, I tried several times to talk about my experience, but no one ever wanted to believe me. This disbelief from others accompanied me for 40 years, creating a sense of isolation and misunderstanding. Now, on the threshold of 46, I can look back and reflect on how this experience has shaped my life. The ancestors I met during my NDE, whom I firmly believe were my grandparents, grandmothers, aunts, and uncles, relatives who had died before I was born, were right. There were still many things I had to learn, and many of these turned out to be extremely difficult. One of the biggest obstacles I had to overcome was drug addiction, a battle I won 13 years ago. This journey taught me the importance of forgiveness, both towards myself and others, and helped me manage the anger and pain caused by circumstances that were beyond my control. My NDE profoundly influenced my perception of death. From that moment on, I began to see death not as something terrifying, but as a natural transition. I understood that our earthly existence is an opportunity to learn, grow, and evolve spiritually. Reliving this experience, even just through the telling, deeply moved me. For about 24 hours after sharing my story, I felt emotionally exhausted, as if a part of me, unconsciously, didn't want to face those life lessons that awaited me again. My NDE also opened my mind to broader spiritual concepts. I became a firm believer in reincarnation, influenced not only by my near-death experience but also by extremely vivid and realistic dreams. In these dreams, I saw places that I later discovered actually existed, experiences that I don't know whether to classify in the same category as the NDE, but which have certainly contributed to shaping my worldview. These events led me to develop a deep respect for all living creatures on this earth. I began to see life as an interconnection of experiences and souls, each with its own path of learning and growth. Reflecting on my experience, I realize I've had a lot of time to analyze and integrate it into my life. The impact it has had on me has been profound and lasting. In a way, I consider that day as the beginning of my true life, the point from which to start counting my age. From that moment on, I felt irrevocably changed. I could no longer consider myself normal in the conventional sense of the term, nor feel completely part of mainstream society. This feeling of being different has accompanied me throughout my life, sometimes creating a sense of alienation, but also giving me a unique perspective on life and death. I often wonder if others who have experienced NDEs have felt similar sensations. There's a deep desire to share and compare these experiences, to find a community of people who can truly understand what I've been through. My NDE opened a door to a world of possibilities and mysteries that conventional science still struggles to fully explain. It raised fundamental questions about the nature of consciousness, the continuity of the soul, and the deeper meaning of our existence. Despite the challenges and misunderstanding I've had to face, I'm grateful for this experience. It has given me a unique perspective on life, helped me overcome difficult times, and provided me with a sense of peace regarding the inevitability of death. Sharing this story is a way for me to reach out to others who might have had similar experiences, in the hope of creating an open and honest dialogue about these extraordinary phenomena. It's also an invitation to those who haven't experienced an NDE to consider the possibility that there's much more to our existence than we can perceive in everyday life. In conclusion, my childhood NDE has profoundly shaped my life, my worldview, and my approach to daily challenges. It has taught me the value of continuous learning, the importance of compassion, and the intrinsic beauty of every moment of life. As I continue my journey, I carry with me the awareness that there's always more to discover, to learn, and to share.
If you enjoyed this video or you're interested in the topics we cover on this channel, I'd be really grateful if you could subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future content. Share the video with someone you think might appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. Preface: near-death experiences, NDEs, can be profound, life-changing events. Remember, NDEs are subjective experiences, not proof of an afterlife or a guide for living. Channel purpose: this channel shares NDE stories and information, providing a platform for open discussion without promoting specific beliefs. Disclaimer: this content doesn't replace professional medical or psychological advice. If struggling with mental health issues, seek professional help immediately. If you've had an NDE and need support, consult a therapist experienced with NDEs. We don't promote suicide or self-harm. If considering suicide, contact a prevention lifeline immediately. Suicide prevention resources: National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. Crisis text line, text HOME to 741741. Conclusion: we hope you find this channel informative. For questions, please contact us. Remember, suicide prevention is crucial. If you're struggling, seek help. You're not alone.